Chapter 3. 2 laws flow inside the spirit. Discern the influences of evil. We cannot see the inside of our spirits with our eyes, but there are evil spirits that flow to block the path of truth. We do not know that the spirit is getting more and more ill. Although a cancerous lump in the body can be seen, the cancerous lump inside the spirit cannot really be seen. It must be healed quickly, but only God can heal spiritual things. To remove all those things inside the human is His plan and will. For the healing of the spirit, thankfulness and joy must take their place inside us. This is an era when the human is so frightening that we cannot even travel with our hearts at ease during the night. This is because evil things seize the inside of the spirit which cannot be seen. Evil things are taking hold of the human. When God seizes the human, he or she is good. But if the human is seized by evil influences, the person acts without knowing. The reason people kill is because they are seized by evil influences and are being controlled. Since they cannot discern the movement of evil influences that are inside, they get dragged away. To reveal and boast about myself are also due to the control of Satan. Thus far, it was an era when humans were revealed. Now, it is an era when God is revealed. When I perfectly put myself down, He stands. When the human does not go perfectly inside of God, he or she flows in humanly attachments. Parents and siblings are approached with humanly attachments. When demands based on humanly attachments are not met, evil influences arise from inside. Thus, we must hold on to only God so that His things also flow to our children. Then we can discern evil influences. 2 laws flow inside the spirit. God said to Adam in Genesis 2, "You are free to eat from any tree in the garden, but you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for when you eat from it, you will certainly die." His word was conveyed to Eve through Adam. Eve said to the serpent, "But God did say, 'You must not eat fruit from the tree that is in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it, or you will die.'" And she distorted God's word. To this, the serpent said to Eve in Genesis 3, "For God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." Eve was deluded by those words, and she plucked and ate the fruit. She also gave it to the husband who was with her, and he ate it as well. Through Eve, the words of the serpent went inside Adam. They ate what God said to eat, and also ate what God said not to eat. That is why, until Eden becomes restored, there are 2 laws that flow inside the spirit of the human. The 2 laws flowing inside me is the spiritual world. Now, for perfect peace to rest inside us, we must come and eliminate the sound of the serpent. If thought heard only the sound of God and were only inside God, what would we have to worry about? Since the sound of a wild animal comes and is heard, and such sound invades the land of God, it becomes a problem. The flesh is merely a scarecrow. There are times when thought pulls the flesh, and times when the heart pulls the flesh. My flesh is weary due to the war of spirits, as revealed in Jude 1:9. Because the authority to rule was snatched away by the serpent, there are more times when thought pulls the flesh as it is stronger. Lust inside us is stronger. Though it seems like God's truth is stronger, lust is still stronger. If Satan pulls me from inside myself, I cannot win by my strength. To overcome, God must help. When we are in a spiritual slump, we must discern well the things that move from inside. Sometimes I am joyful and thankful, and sometimes I am in a slump. This is because there are two laws that flow inside me. Paul also fought because of this. In Romans 7 he says, "For in my inner being I delight in God's law. But I see another law at work in me, waging war against the law of my mind and making me a prisoner of the law of sin at work within me." He said he saw inside his body another law fight with the law of his heart. Paul overcame the fight well. There are two laws that flow inside me, the Spirit of God and the spirit of disobedience. In order for us to overcome, he must come and eliminate the sound of the serpent. At such time, a genuine era of love opens, and Eden becomes restored. The Spirit leads the flesh. The human instinct is that it wants to live happily, with joy and thanks. There is no person who wants to live while worrying and having anxieties without having any laughter. But an evil spirit flows inside the human due to the spirit of disobedience starting from Eden. The influences of Satan, which flow inside the spiritual world, ride the inside of the human and flow. It is a blessing if a person is seized by God, but those who are seized by the influences of Satan lose their reason and cannot manage their own selves. The purpose of God coming is to annihilate the influences of Satan in this world, raise up the lives of God, and make things into one. So, he is victorious day after day. God aches because lives are dying. But the human is more startled about the flesh dying. Now, we must know what spiritual world the inside of the human is seized by. Things that move, due to the grasp of the influences of Satan, can be disconnected. Yet, we hate the human. We must not hate the human who can be seen. When God seizes the human, and he or she is used, amazing works arise. But what happens when this is not so? When God used Elijah, fire came down from heaven. And as 1 Kings 18 shows us, the works of bringing down rain, which did not come for 3.5 years, were raised. But when God let go, Elijah sat under a juniper tree and prayed. In 1 Kings 19:4, "It is enough. Now, O Lord, take away my life." When God seizes me, only joy and thankfulness come out. But when he lets go, there is only sighing, worrying, and being anxious. In this way, the Spirit leads the flesh. By God's word, we must cut off the evil inside us and perfectly receive his lead. The flesh follows according to the way it is controlled. The law of the word and our hearts are one. But there are times when they are not one. This is because thought pulls the heart when thought is held powerfully by Satan. It is made such that the flesh follows according to the control from inside. So the flesh is a scarecrow. When Satan is strong inside thought, the flesh follows that side. When the word is strong, the flesh adheres to the side of the word. When there is joy from inside, the flesh does the expression of joy. When we are scarred by an unpleasant occurrence, a displeased expression appears on our faces. The flesh becomes an angel, and sometimes it becomes an enraged lion. It changes very well. Nevertheless, the flesh cannot do what it wants to do. Pain in the body is also felt from inside first, and becomes expressed on the outside. If our lives end and the soul body exits from inside us, the flesh just dies as it is. The flesh has nothing to do but go inside the earth. When the one who controls from inside says, "Since I have ended, I will now leave my house," the thing that ends is the flesh. Elijah said to the Israelites in 1 Kings 18:21, "If the Lord is God, follow him, but if Baal is God, follow him." He asks if they will stick to Baal's side or God's side. Baal's side belongs to the lustful devil, and God's side belongs to the Spirit of heaven. Because our flesh follows according to the way we are controlled, God must lead us from inside. When God leads me from inside, the flesh also has no hardship. There are two masters when it comes to the flesh, so the flesh is tormented. In order for the flesh to enjoy peace, it must receive only the control of God.